Chapter 576. Killer Move Reward. Kill. Damn it, another myriad beast king. In the huge desert, the heat in the air was distorting one's vision as sandworms crawled out from underneath the golden sand terrain. The goo masters were occupying the small area of a sand dune, desperately defending themselves. This was 88 True Yong Building's 7th floor, the 89th round. Every round was a new area entirely, filled with all sorts of tests that a sandworm myriad beast king entered the battle, causing ripples to form in the goo master's defenses. Hold on, just 45 minutes more, and we will get through this round. Soul Blade General Pan Ping shouted as he tried to boost morale. He was a demonic goo master who had joined He tribe to become their external elder. He had great battle strength, but this round was focused on defense. It required the challengers to stay on the specified dune for 12 hours, facing the attacks of the sandworms in waves. Unlike goo immortals, mortals had limited strength alone. Thus it was the best if more people challenged the round. But Pan Ping's words had little effect. Why now? There were great losses to the goo masters. They were all tired and reaching their limits. The F***CK. Another myriad beast king. How are we going to survive? Big Beard wiped the blood and sweat off his face as he shouted. Nobody knew his real name. Because his beard was really thick, he was simply called Big Beard in the earlier rounds. He had gotten through the 6th floor's 18th round, thus becoming a little famous from his previously unknown background. He was originally a rank 2 goo master, as common as a pebble in the sacred palace, a true fodder. But because of the reward for clearing the round, he rose to rank 3 realm. It was different when a goo master becomes rank 3. Rank 2 were common. Rank 3 were rare. They were mostly elders. When Big Beard became rank 3, his situation improved, and his high-quality primeval essence caused his battle strength to surge, allowing him to obtain more battle rewards. Not only this, many middle-sized tribes gave him an offer to join. Small tribes could not afford to have an external elder, while large tribes had no use for him. This is the 89th round. If we get through this, the reward will be shocking. People like us will not obtain it, but the reward for the mission would allow me to obtain 2 rank 3 goo. Big Beard thought about this, and his heart was burning with desire. As he battled, he looked at the higher-ups on the peak of the dune. It was them who sent out this mission, gathering 1,000 goo masters to get through this difficult round. The sandworm myriad beast king rushed into the defensive line, engaging in fierce combat. Golden light, rain of arrows, flames, all sorts of attacks were unleashed on the myriad beast king, but the beast king's body shone with a yellow luster, as its defense rose and blocked these attacks easily. It growled continuously, as it whipped up a storm while barging into the people's territory. Chong Biao stood on the mound, frowning. The situation is a little out of hand. He spoke. This myriad beast king has a rank 5 golden armor goo. If we allow it to continue rampaging, our defenses would crumble. By now, this was the 9th myriad beast king. According to the goo worms on the myriad beast kings, their battle strengths differed. This myriad beast king was comparatively problematic because of the good quality defensive goo in it, but it did not have a strong area of effect attack. In such a situation, usually goo master experts would choose to strike it themselves, as that is the only way to hurt it. After all, soldiers fight soldiers, and generals fight generals. Chong Biao had this intention as well. Ma Jie, who was standing beside him, stood up and spoke. Then I shall do it. No one objected. During the appearance of the myriad beast king, everyone took turns to strike. This was what they agreed on, and according to the order, it was Ma Yingjie's turn. He was the worthily famous Ma Yingjie indeed. When he personally struck, he led the Pegasus group and easily blocked the sandworm myriad beast king, stabilizing the situation. Young Ma Zun is really impressive. On the sand dune, everyone praised. Brother Chong, what do you think of Ma Yingjie? Pan Ping secretly asked by transmitting his voice to Ma Yingjie was once Ma tribe's young tribe leader. His teacher was Ma Zun, and after Ma tribe failed, He Lulan forced them to submit, causing the current Ma tribe to be weak, only being a mid-sized tribe. Chong Biao knew what Pan Ping was saying. He wanted to recruit Ma Yingjie into becoming a member of the Wolf Killing Alliance. The Wolf Killing Alliance was a secret organization to deal with Fang Yuan. After Pan Ping's inheritance was snatched, by Fang Yuan on Xingjiu Peak. He felt extreme hatred on the inside and wanted to take revenge. Chang Biao had the grudge of Chang Shan in taking his wife. It was absolutely irreconcilable. Fang Yuan had incredible power. He could contest with He Lulan. Even though Pan Ping and Chang Biao had great gains in 88 Truyang building and obtained much rewards, both being ranked for peak stage now, they had a low chance of success in dealing with Fang Yuan. Thus they needed more help. Seeing Chang Biao keeping silent, Pan Ping continued. Ma tribe lost terribly because of Chang Shan. Ma Yingjie's teacher Ma Zun was killed by him as well. He and Chang Shan have a huge grudge too. But Chang Biao shook his head, transmitting, no, Ma Yingjie is a very determined person, but he is also a great leader. In my opinion, he has placed all his efforts on his tribe now, trying to revitalize the dying Ma tribe. He would not oppose the Wolf King if his intention is this. In fact, he might try to mend their relationship. Wolf King has a huge force. Our biggest advantage is that we are a secret organization. We cannot recruit people recklessly. If not, we will expose ourselves. Pan Ping was not willing to give up. He continued urging, Brother Chang, how can we as high achievers worry so much? Chang Shan is a scoundrel. He has his myriad wolves to defend him. In the future, when we fight, our strength might be drained by the wolf group. Don't forget about this person's high attainment and strength path. Ma Yingjie controls a horse group. He is called Little Ma Zun now. He has the talent to become an enslavement master. We need such experts to deal with the wolf group. Chang Biao gave Pan Ping a look, feeling unhappy. Pan Ping was a demonic Gu master. He was called Soul Blade General. He acted without restraints and was daring and cruel. This was foolishness and rashness in Chang Biao's opinion. He could not achieve anything in life. Actually, Pan Ping was unhappy too. He felt that Chang Biao was too restricted. He worried too much and was not a true hero. This was the difference in their personality. Chang Biao was good at enduring. Back then, when plotting against Chang Shanin, he used another person to achieve his aims. He also loved his reputation. After so many years, he did not dare to acknowledge his son Chang Jiu.as for Pan Ping. From the imperial court contest, when he challenged the armies and rushed forward in battle, one could see his personality. But despite their differences, be it Pan Ping or Chang Biao, they could tolerate each other because they understood clearly that Wolf King was not someone they could deal with alone. Pan Ping is from the demonic path. How can he understand the thoughts of us righteous path characters? He wants to take in Ma Yingjie? Wishful thinking. The moment we tell him about the wolf-killing alliance, we might get betrayed by him the next second in order to appeal to the Wolf King. Sai, how can I convince him? Chang Biao sighed in his heart, but he was very witty. He immediately had a plan that he transmitted. Brother Pan, Chang Shan killed Ma Zun. But don't forget, who was the one who killed Ma Yingjie's father? Ugh. Pan Ping was stunned. He went into a daze that A Shang Feng was killed by Pan Ping during the chaotic battle in the end. Because of that, he made a great merit and was given many rewards. The battle merit back then became his biggest obstacle in taking revenge now. This was something Pan Ping did not expect. But Pan Ping was an obstinate man. He said, It is true that I killed his father, but that was due to the fight between two armies. We were fighting for our respective masters. Since Brother Chang thinks that Ma Yingjie cares most about his tribe, I will believe this judgment. In that case, if we use this as the premise and assume that Wolf King is the biggest obstacle to Ma Yingjie when he wants to restore his tribe, wouldn't that be the best? Once he said that, Chang Biao was stunned this time. He gave Pan Ping a look, thinking, wise people might have a moment of folly, while foolish people might have a moment of brilliance. To think that this Pan Ping would have a smart rebuttal for once. Immediately, his mind worked quickly as he assessed. Indeed, there is a possibility of that. Ma Yingjie's weakness is Ma tribe. But how can we plan this so that Ma Yingjie would willingly join the wolf-killing alliance? Chang Biao thought of this and had an idea. Remembering a small detail that he had heard of earlier, his gaze turned to the left defensive line. There was a young rank 2 Gu master there. He is Ma Hongyun. He was originally Ma Yingjie's servant earlier, but now he is one of Ma Yingjie's most trusted aides. Not long ago, Wolf King hunted the Earth Chief Beast Group and Ma Hongyun managed to escape with his life. He obtained not a small amount of battle gains and contributed it to Ma tribe, causing Ma Yingjie to reward him with 3 green copper relic goo for his loyalty. He even returned all the goo worms that were contributed, allowing Ma Hongyun to keep them. This lad's luck is not bad. He managed to leave before Chang tribe and Gu tribe goo masters entered the battlefield. The green copper relic goo is of considerable value too. After Ma tribe became weak, their morale was low, and Ma Yingjie used the green copper relic goo that he could not use to demonstrate how his men could be rewarded by the act of a good role model. Ma Hongyun obtained the green copper relic goo that he needed most, getting to rank 2 realm in one night. That speed is something not even I could compete with. Chang Biao thought of this and sighed at the mysteries of fate. Compared to Ma Hongyun, Chang Biao had a much higher starting point. He had huge amounts of resources provided to him. But even so, Chang Biao took about 10 times as long to advance to rank 2. After all, green copper relic goo were natural goo. They were rare and produced at random places. It was thanks to 88 true Yang building that Ma Yingjie obtained them as a reward. This lad Ma Hongyun had prospered due to Chang Shanyin. Earlier, Chang Shanyin had ordered Chang tribe and Gu tribe to capture some of the Gu masters who tried to take advantage of the situation. What will happen if I release this information? Chang Biao pondered. No, just Ma Hongyun, who is a rank 2 Gu master, would be an ant in Chang Shanyin's eyes. He is still too weak. There is no point in reporting him. Furthermore, Ma Yingjie will not deal with Chang Shanyin just because of this tiny Ma Hongyun. We should continuing planning and waiting for this. 45 minutes later, the sand dune erupted into cheers. Victory, victory. It was not easy. We finally got through. I wonder what the reward for this round is. Many curious gazes landed on Chang Biao, Pan Ping, Ma Yingjie, and others. After passing this round, Chang Biao and the others' apertures suddenly had many new goo worms. Among them was an east window goo, storing information. 6-arm heavenly zombie king? Chang Biao, Pan Ping, and Ma Yingjie checked this information and looked at each other. They had differing expressions. To think that the reward would be a strength path killer move. According to the description, this killer move's power was phenomenal. Chapter 577. Young Master, save me. Bam! A silhouette flew out like lightning. 6 arms were like heavy cannons crushing a huge helmet crab to death. At once, fresh blood spewed in this secret room as limbs flew everywhere. Huh? Pan Ping combed his messy hair, laughing loudly as he ignored the blood and carcasses on the ground. Awesome, amazing. This 6-arm heavenly zombie king killer move is really amazing. Using the zombie body to avoid requiring my insufficient background in strength path. Thus, even with my mild cultivation and strength path, I can still use it. Pan Ping's eyes shone brilliantly as he talked to himself, pondering about the killer move. He was born from the demonic path. He lacked resources and did not have enough creativity. Thus, he had never owned a killer move. But one did not need to know how to cook in order to eat. After roaming in northern plains for so many years, Pan Ping's vision had expanded, and he knew that this killer move 6-arm heavenly zombie king really had what was in the description, unparalleled strength. As long as I have this, my chances of dealing with Wolf King will be higher by 10%. Wolf King has a strength path killer move, but so do I. Wolf King, don't be arrogant. One day, I will return all the humiliation that you inflicted onto me by 10-fold. Pan Ping gritted his teeth, his eyes shining with hatred at the same time. Chang Biao was also testing this killer move, as expected of a reward from 88 true Yang building. This killer move is too strong. The power of the killer move was very shocking to Chang Biao as well. If I have to mention a flaw, it would be that the appearance is too ugly and evil. Chang Biao looked at the mirror with a dark gaze. The Chang Biao in the mirror had green-gray skin. Fangs were growing out of his mouth, and his eyes were yellow. He has green-red messy hair, looking very horrifying. Especially the 6 monstrous arms on his back. They were of different shapes and sizes. Each were ruthless-looking and made people feel a chill when they saw them. Pan Ping originated from the demonic path. He often lacked resources and lived in terrible conditions. With survival as his main goal, he did not care about appearance or image. But Chang Biao was different. He was born in Chang tribe. He was like a noble, a reputable figure in the righteous path. He loved his appearance and placed emphasis on his reputation. If he were to show this appearance to people, he would feel very uncomfortable in his heart. However, although this form is ugly, I can only resort to this when dealing with Chang Shanin. Thinking of Fang Yuan, Chang Biao made up his mind. To speak the truth, this move is quite similar to his strength path killer move. His killer move creates 4 arms on his back. Together with his actual arms, he would have 6 in total. Meanwhile, my killer move creates 6 arms. I would have 8 in total. This is a difference in appearance, but also shows that my killer move is stronger than his by a level. Chang Biao was assessing in his heart. His impression of Fang Yuan's killer move was still the one in the Imperial Court contest. Suddenly, Chang Biao had an inspiration. He had a guess. This is quite the coincidence. The 2 killer moves are so alike. Maybe my version is the original, and what Chang Shanin got by chance was only a remnant version that was passed on outside. The more he thought about it, the more he confirmed his guess. Chang Shanin is already an enslavement master. With his talent in enslavement path, how can he also have such talent in strength path? In the future when I get rid of him, I wonder what expression he will make when he sees my killer move? I am looking forward to it. Thinking so, Chang Biao's lips curled into a smile. Right at this moment, a servant came and told him Pan Ping had arrived. Chang Biao's mind clicked, and he knew what Pan Ping's intention was. He instructed, "Bring him to my study room. Attend to him with good tea. I will be there shortly." Because he was testing the killer move, Chang Biao's clothes were tattered. After changing his clothes, he came to the study and saw that Pan Ping was gulping the tea that was served to him. What a waste of my good tea. Chang Biao sneered in his heart, before cupping his fists and calling out, "Brother Pan, you look especially happy today. There has been progress in the testing of the killer move." "Ha ha, Brother Chang is right. That is exactly so. This killer move is simply outstanding." Pan Ping laughed loudly before changing the topic. "However, there are some problems with this killer move. I tested it for 3 times, and every time after I end the transformation, I would feel a great pain in my stomach area. In fact, the pain gets worse the more I use it. Is this the backlash of the killer move?" "Oh." Chang Biao heard this, and his gaze concentrated. "My symptoms are different from you. You have a stomach ache while I feel dizziness, even temporary deafness and blindness. I was going to find you to discuss this problem." The 2 talked about the issue, but they did not gain any insights. They were neither expert strength path cultivators nor refinement masters. Their so-called discussion was only based on their own experiments. They could not get to the root of the issue. Pan Ping suggested, "There are 3 other people who cleared the round along with us. Why don't we invite them over as well to discuss this matter? Relationships are built by interaction. Once our relationship improves, we can invite them to join the wolf-killing alliance." Pan Ping was adamant on recruiting more members into their alliance. Chang Biao laughed as he said vaguely, "I have plans for this already. It will take effect in the next few days." Imperial Court, Blessed Land. 1,000 li away from the sacred palace, in the lush and green forest, a group of Gu masters were carefully moving ahead. Crack, with a light, crisp sound. Fang Yuan accidentally stepped on a twig. Everyone's movement stopped. They sent their angry and frightened gazes towards him. "You idiot! How many times have we told you to notice what you step on? Look down." The group leader suppressed his volume as he chided with his eyes wide open. Sorry, I did not mean to do that." Fang Yuan quickly apologized. Shut up. Shush, quiet, you idiot." The Gu masters nearby were anxious. The people near Fang Yuan even covered his mouth quickly in fear. The leader's expression was solemn. He was anxious, and some killing intent leaked. "All of you shut up. If you alert the Iron Beak Bird group, we will be finished. We are only here to steal the eggs this time. We are retreating once we do that. I will personally kill whoever ruins this." The leader was the only rank 3 Gu master here. He had the greatest strength and, naturally, authority. Hearing his words, everyone nodded quickly, including Fang Yuan. The leader looked around. His gaze paused at Fang Yuan for a second as he gave him a fierce stare, deciding in his heart, "Once we go back, I am kicking this idiot from the group. So what if he has rank 2 strength? I must be blind." Looking at how complimentary his Gu worms were, I agreed to let him into the group. If a Gu master is stupid to this degree, so what if he has good Gu worms? Swoosh! Right at this moment, There was a sound that resembled waves in the forest. Largest numbers of iron-beak birds flapped their wings as they soared into the sky from the tree branches. The Gu masters who saw this felt that they had sunk into an icy abyss. What's going on? Oh no, the birds were alerted. Quickly run. Mahong Yun, it is all your fault. If I survive this, I will definitely settle the score with you. Everyone were frightened and anxious. Some were furious. No, the birds are flying south. It was not us who alerted them. It seems that there were others who accepted Chong tribe's mission. The leader saw the situation and was overjoyed, screaming uncontrollably. Everyone heard this and looked over. Seeing this was the case, their moods changed. Save us. A group of Gu masters were flying quickly towards them. Looking at the densely packed bird group that were attracted over, the Gu masters' eyes were almost popping out. Don't come over, the leader shouted. I will kill you first if you come closer. Leader, looking at their clothes, they are Chong tribesmen. Mahong Yun said hesitantly. The leader's eyes were wide open as he wanted to bash this guy up, shouting, You idiot, do you still want your life? Go save them if you want to die. Mahong Yun thought of the time when they faced the Earth Chief Beast Group. He only wanted to remind Zhang Dong, but he was nearly killed as a result. If not for my good luck, Mahong Yun thought of this and shuddered, asking the leader, What should we do? The leader gritted his teeth, seeing that the Chong tribe Gu masters were not listening. Rushing over intentionally, he stomped his foot. What can we do? Split up and run. Everyone split up at once, as Mahong Yun was in a daze, quickly choosing a direction and running for his life when he realized what was going on. Lord, that is Mahong Yun, Ma Ing Jie's confidant. The Chong tribe Gu masters who were running away might look pathetic, but they were all cool-headed and had no fear. Chong tribe group's leader was Chong Biao's confidant. He looked at Mahong Yun's figure as he was shocked. Is this guy a fool? He is not using his movement Gu. Chong tribe was scheming. They naturally got all the details of Mahong Yun. They knew that he had a complete set of high-quality rank 2 Gu worms. I'm going to be caught. Damn it. Why are they so fast? They used a movement Gu. Right. I have a movement Gu too. As he ran, Mahong Yun patted his forehead as he quickly used his movement Gu, his speed rising drastically. He finally remembered. Why is he still running towards the left? The leader was shocked. He did not know that Mahong Yun had a terrible sense of direction. Back when Fei tribe was in turmoil, his father sacrificed himself to give him time to run, but he ran in a circle and turned back to the same spot. Because of Mahong Yun's actions, the situation became more serious. The leader quickly instructed, You, quickly catch up with Mahong Yun and protect him. In addition, ask Lady Chong Li to go ahead and prepare. Yes, Lord. Even though the Chong tribe Gu masters were elites, Mahong Yun's random movement often got himself into dangerous situations. The Gu masters had to attract the bird group while protecting him. They also had to avoid getting detected by him. It was a difficult position. Their plan, which was guaranteed to succeed, ended up with them sacrificing several elites. Save me. Chong Li was lying on the ground. She was weak and feeble, looking very vulnerable. Her clothes were torn, revealing her alluring shoulder. Her hair was messy and she looked very pitiful, like a fearful rabbit. Mahong Yun ran over quickly. He was looking ahead as he desperately ran. He did not discover Chong Li at all. Chong Li was stunned. At the last moment, she reacted and stretched out her leg when Mahong Yun was about to pass her. Plop. Mahong Yun fell face flat. He turned around and was shocked. What a beautiful lady. He was a dummy normally, but he was also at the age of being attracted to girls. Young master, please save me. Chong Li's beautiful voice made Mahong Yun's heart flutter. Oh. Mahong Yun quickly replied. After some fumbling, he carried Chong Li and ran. Chapter 578. Connection by Marriage. A day later, during an evening banquet, a tribesman of your esteemed tribe saved my daughter. I, Chong Biao, am extremely grateful. This first cup is a toast to Ma tribe leader. Chong Biao raised a wine cup. Ing Jia quickly lifted his cup and modestly replied. That was only a chance encounter. I had not expected her to be Lord Chong Biao's beloved daughter. This is Hong Yun's honor. Ha. Chong Biao laughed heartily and drank the wine. Ing Jia also followed suit and downed the wine at Mahong Yun, who was sitting beside him. had become the main character of the whole banquet at this moment, and dozens of gazes gathered on him. Feeling these probing, curious, and doubtful gazes, Ma Hongyun felt a little uncomfortable. Chang Biao lightly placed down his wine cup and hinted Pan Ping, who was beside him, with his eyes to as they had already discussed properly. Pan Ping understood the signal and looked at Ma Hongyun. Virtuous Junior, if I speak so, aren't you like a hero saving the beauty? I. Ma Hongyun hesitated, speechless that in truth. He also did not know how he had saved Chongli. He had only been concerned about escaping from the endless iron-beaked birds chasing after him. The situation was so urgent. Even if he had saved Chongli, he did not think much. Pan Ping stared with his eyes wide open at Ma Hongyun, who looked like he would not start speaking even till the cows came home. Fortunately, Chang Biao had already calculated Ma Hongyun's nature in his plan, and at this moment, his gaze moved towards a certain person in the banquet. This person immediately stood up and came to the center, cupping his fist towards Chang Biao. Elder Chang Biao and all lords, I was one of the people involved in this matter, and I was able to fortunately see the whole situation. Lord Ma Hongyun is generous and modest, not claiming the credit and becoming arrogant, but I cannot endure a heroic deed being buried like this, so I summoned my courage by drinking to narrate the event to all lords. Hearing these words, everyone knew this person was someone who was good at speaking. Chang Biao nodded. You can speak. This person spoke with confidence, adding plentiful emotions and speaking in a way that echoed and added to their effects. He narrated in such a vivid way that it portrayed Ma Hongyun as an aloof hero with an unwavering mind, with brains and brawn, not afraid of dangers. They listened to the narration. The crowd cheered and praised from time to time. Their gazes towards Ma Hongyun also started to change, becoming respectful, warm, or appreciative. Ma Hongyun's eyes were wide open as he listened to this seemingly heavenly tale. He was feeling incredulous. Is this person talking about me? When did I become so amazing? Did he mistake me for somebody else? There was one other person who did not dare to believe this. Ma Yingjie was Ma tribe leader, an outstanding hero of this generation. He was familiar with Ma Hongyun's nature and character. How could he be deceived by these flowery words? He had a faint smile on his face, and also nodded at the appropriate timings, looking at Ma Hongyun approvingly. His mind, however, was in a state of deep thought. If, say, Ma Hongyun saved Chongli by luck, there is nothing strange about it. But why would Elder Chang Biao send a phony to explain things for Ma Hongyun? What is he planning? In this banquet, although there are tens of distinguished guests, but the true main characters are only two in number, Chang Biao and Pan Ping. Ma Yingjie was inwardly on guard. Ma tribe had lost in the imperial court contest, falling down from their peak. Ma Yingjie's master and father died in the battlefield. All these difficulties and setbacks caused Ma Yingjie to quickly mature into an outstanding person. He was secretly guessing Chang Biao's plan, but on the surface, he did not even bat an eyelid. The current Ma tribe was declining, while Chang tribe was like the sun in the noon sky because of Fang Yuan. Pan Ping left demonic path and turned to He tribe, and was now an external elder of He tribe, in no matter which. They were both not people the current Ma tribe. The current Ma Yingjie could offend. Good. After that person finished narrating Ma Hongyun's heroic deeds, Chang Biao repeatedly praised him. Heroes indeed arise from young people. Chang Biao looked at Ma Hongyun, not stinting on his praise that he paused, then continued. Since ancient times, heroes love beauties and beauties are matched with heroes. I won't conceal it from everyone. Ever since my daughter was saved, she has been silent, taciturn, and her mind seems to be drifting off. I inquired her of the reason and only then learned her heart was somewhere else, worrying about the young hero who had saved her during the time of danger. I held this banquet to express my gratitude, and also because of this. The hall was in an uproar. Countless gazes, mixed with admiration, envy, shock, or unconvinced feelings, turned towards Ma Hongyun. What bullshit luck does this kid have? He actually received Chang tribe's young misfavor. Chongli is beautiful and pleasant. Who could have thought she would prefer such a foolish kid? Sigh. If I had known this earlier, I would have also gone to the forest of iron-beaked birds. Chongli might not be Chang Biao's own daughter, but he had taken her in and cared for her since she was young. She has always received Chang Biao's love and is a beloved daughter of elder Chang Biao. If this kid, Ma Hongyun, marries Chang Li, his father-in-law would be Chang Biao. Instantly, everyone's mood surged. Ma Yingjie quickly reacted from his shocked state and rapidly thought with some suspicions. Is this the reason for Chang Biao entertaining us with such great fanfare? Although there is the tale of the night elopement of Su Xian, but isn't this going too well? There were even better things to come. In front of everyone, Chang Biao took out 2 red steel relic gu. The new constantly replaces the old. Virtuous Jr. is a young hero of our northern plains. We cannot have him be unrewarded. These 2 red steel relic gu are a little expression of my thanks to the benefactor. Please accept them. The commotion in the hall increased even more. Ma Hongyun quickly looked at Ma Yingjie. Ma Yingjie nodded and pointed out with a smile. We cannot dare to reject seniors' gifts. Hongyun, why are you not kowtowing and expressing your thanks? Ma Hongyun immediately walked forward and kowtowed. Many thanks for Lord Chang Biao's gift. Chang Biao laughed heartily and also walked forward, personally putting the 2 red steel relic gu in Ma Hongyun's hand. Under everyone's gazes, he amiably patted Ma Hongyun's hand and asked, I wonder how Virtuous Jr. feels about my daughter? Ma Hongyun raised his head with a flushed face, not knowing how to reply for a moment. After a while, he finally squeezed out a few words. Miss Chang Li is beautiful, very beautiful. Ha ha ha. Chang Biao threw his head back and laughed. This is good. This is good. Virtuous Jr., please return to your seat. They returned to their seats and continued to enjoy the banquet. The banquet continued from evening to late at night. Only then the hosts and the guests had enjoyed to their fill and started taking their leave as the crowd dispersed. The matter of Chang tribe marrying off its daughter to the lucky kid Ma Hongyun also spread everywhere. On the second day, Chang Biao again invited Ma Yingjie and Ma Hongyun to a banquet. The scale of the banquet would be smaller this time, and only a few people were invited. Ma Yingjie gazed at the invitation card in his hand with a grave look. After returning back, he had not slept the whole night and was pondering over this matter. The small invitation card felt exceptionally heavy to him. He placed the invitation card on the table and called his servant. Go, call Ma Hongyun to see me. The servant immediately accepted the order, and when he was arriving at Ma Hongyun's residence, Zhao Linyun was in the process of instructing Ma Hongyun. You fool! What kind of bullshit luck do you have? But this matter is so good that it instead makes it feel hollow. I think tribe leader Ma Yingjie will definitely call you to ask about this. At that time, explain everything clearly in full detail. Don't hide even the smallest details. Okay. Ma Hongyun immediately agreed. Also, Zhao Linyun's large eyes turned. Didn't Chang Biao reward you with 2 red steel relic gu? When you meet the tribe leader, offer these 2 gu to him. What? Ma Hongyun's eyes opened wide as he shouted. This is something I risked my life for and obtained with great difficulty. And they were gifted to me by Lord Chang Biao. I will immediately advance to rank 2 upper stage after I use them. These are such good things. You fool. Zhao Linyun kicked Ma Hongyun's leg in anger. Ma Hongyun immediately held his leg in pain. Why did you kick me? Zhao Linyun rolled her eyes and unhappily rebuked. What do you understand? Even if you become rank 2 upper stage, what use would it be with your skill? What is the basis for us being able to stand up? It is not your rank 2 cultivation, but the friendship with tribe leader Ma Yingjie. How did you advance to rank 2? It is because tribe leader Ma Yingjie gifted you with 3 green copper relic gu. Offering the red steel relic gu is an expression of loyalty. Do you think the tribe leader will embezzle your red steel relic gu? Humph, he can't use it for himself, so he will definitely accept them then return them to you again. Since he will accept them, why would he return them to me again? Ma Hongyun asked with doubt. Idiot. Zhao Linyun again rolled her eyes. Ma tribe has declined. There are very few tribesmen while there are many things to do. The whole tribe only has 1 rank 3 elder, Ma Yuliang, and he is handicapped now. Ma Yingjie has recently taken the tribe leader position and doesn't have any usable subordinates. He wants to revitalize the tribe and will be looking for talents to nurture into trusted aides. Although you were once surnamed Fei, now you are surnamed Ma, and you were once Ma Yingjie's head servant. Ma Yingjie knows everything about you and will be at ease in using you compared to other people. You will be showing your loyalty by offering the goo worms. He will definitely be happy and accept your goo worms. This is because he recognizes your loyalty. But Ma Yingjie is not a petty and miserly master. Accepting your goo worms will only be as a gesture, and he will definitely return them to you. Why? Because he wants to establish an example from which the tribesmen can study and be encouraged to imitate your loyalty. I am certain he will not only return your red steel relic goo, he will even add in more rewards. Although you are insufficient in ability, you have loyalty. This is called buying horse bones with 1,000 gold won. Ma Hongyun was confused. What is buying horse bones with 1,000 gold? Sai, you won't understand it even if I explain. Just do what I say, and it will definitely be to your benefit. Oh. Ma Hongyun agreed while scratching his head. The two had just reached an agreement when Ma Yingjie's servant came running over to summon Ma Hongyun. Ma Hongyun followed Zhao Lianyun's words and offered the two red steel relic goo. But different from Zhao Lianyun's estimation, Ma Yingjie accepted them but did not return them back to Ma Hongyun. After Ma Hongyun returned, he started complaining endlessly to Zhao Lianyun. Could it be my estimation was wrong? Zhao Lianyun also felt some doubts. Chapter 579, Deputy Elder. In the evening, Ma Yingjie took Ma Hongyun to Chang tribe's banquet. When the banquet ended, Chang Biao urged Ma Yingjie to stay and have a talk in the study while letting Chang Li entertain Ma Hongyun. I wonder what insights might Ma tribe leader have in six-arm heavenly zombie king. After some discussion, Chang Biao changed the subject to the killer move that Ma Yingjie, however, had not tested the killer move, speaking frankly. I am an enslavement path master and have no affiliation to strength path. I was quite disappointed for the reward in passing the 89th round to be this killer move. I plan to sell this killer move, thus haven't tested it. What happened? Chang Biao was stupefied, glancing at Pan Ping next to him. The two had not expected this situation, but it was actually reasonable. Ma Yingjie was different from them. He had a concrete and comprehensive enslavement path inheritance. His master Ma Zun relied on this inheritance to make a name and be a ruler of a region. This inheritance contained a killer move as well. And besides it, Ma Yingjie still had the powerful killer move from Snowy Mountain's Gu Immortal, Dragon Horse Spirit. He had yet to master these killer moves. Why would he go cultivate a killer move of another path? He had been cultivating enslavement path since his youth, and as long as he cultivated it properly, he could become a ruler of a region and revitalize his tribe. Cultivating side paths would instead divide his energy. Since ancient times, Gu masters prioritized one path, and very few cultivated two paths. Dividing energy and continually moving back and forth will only result in achieving nothing on both ends. Fang Yuan could dually cultivate paths because of the accumulation of his previous life's experiences. Ma Yingjie also had to manage the tribe's affairs and had no extra energy to cultivate some strength path killer move. I won't conceal it from you. I and Brother Pan Ping have been testing this killer move. Its might is astonishing and overwhelming. We might as well speak the truth to Ma tribe leader. As he said this, Chang Biao paused, considering his words while somewhat hesitating that he looked at Ma Yingjie with a sincere gaze and shockingly said, I would like to request Ma tribe leader to keep this killer move a secret and not spread it to others. Spreading it outside means the reward for clearing the round will be received by others. Chang Biao intentionally spoke evasively. Ma Yingjie was smart as he suddenly understood everything. So, it was like this. Chang Biao was once Chang tribe's leader. Now he is only a great elder, and the tribe leader is his adopted son Chang Jiyu, and the true decision-maker is Wolf King Chang Shanin. Chang Biao obtained this killer move and wants to keep it a secret. This is a normal practice of Gu masters. But there is a problem. If Chang Shanin learns of this and asks him for it, he will definitely have to hand it over. Ma Yingjie observed Pan and Chang's expressions and intonations, and knew six-arm Heavenly Zombie King was absolutely an extraordinary killer move. Humans were selfish, who would be willing to hand such a valuable treasure for no purpose. Ma Yingjie understood this point. Seeing Ma Yingjie's gaze flicker, Chang Biao continued, I have already talked with the others. Ma tribe leader can rest at ease. We still need Ma tribe leader's strength for the coming round. Ma Yingjie's expression turned solemn. Lord Chang Biao exaggerates. My ability is limited. It is my fortune to be able to cooperate with all the experts, making it a win-win situation. I am okay with this matter being done like Lord Chang Biao says. Hearing Ma Yingjie's answer, Chang Biao and Pan Ping both smiled. Sigh. What lord? Ma tribe leader can just call me by my name. Pan Ping saw the chance, and immediately tried to pull their relation closer. Pan and Chang wanted to pull Ma Yingjie to their faction, while Ma Yingjie also wanted to rely on Chang tribe and He tribe's help to grow his tribe. The three went out of their way to curry favor with each other, addressing each other as brothers. The three discussed in the study till late at night, getting along with each other. It was near midnight. The three separated after setting Ma Hongyuan and Chang Li's engagement. Brother Chang's plan is excellent. With this connection by marriage, Ma Yingjie will be tied with Brother Chang, and when we deal with the Wolf King later on, he would have to help out. After closing the door, Pan Ping laughed heartily. Chang Biao, however, slightly shook his head. Ma Yingjie is not someone easy to fool. He knows when to bow and submit, and at the time of danger, he will definitely make a quick decision. It is still not the time to recruit him now, but as long as we continue to be on good terms with him and let people know of our close relation and put in some resources to support that Ma Hongyuan, we will be able to increase our control over Ma tribe. And when we declare war against Changshan Yin in the future, as long as Changshan Yin recognizes Ma tribe as an enemy, Ma Yingjie will have no choice but to get on our boat to protect his tribe. At night in imperial court-blessed land, the bright and warm silver light shone on the ground. In a carriage, Ma Yingjie and Ma Hongyuan were sitting opposite each other. Hongyuan, you truly are a lucky guy, actually getting the interest of Miss Changli. I have already come to a decision with Lord Chang Biao. The first day of the next month will be a day of celebration for you and Changli. Ma Yingjie said with a smile on his face. Ma Hongyuan had not expected this news at all, and was not able to react for a while. I have seen your loyalty. Good. This is your reward. Ma Yingjie patted Ma Hongyuan's shoulder, while sighing with emotion as he took out 3 red steel relic goo from his aperture. Ma Hongyuan was astonished, and dazedly received the 3 red steel relic goo. You will be getting married with Lady Changli. If you don't have power and status, wouldn't it weaken my Ma tribe's name? You can advance to rank 2 peak stage with these 3 red steel relic goo. It should not be a problem for you to advance to rank 3 with your aptitude. I will now appoint you as a deputy elder, and your duty will be to handle the miscellaneous affairs of the tribe. Ma Yingjie proclaimed. Ma Hongyuan's eyes opened wide, looking at Ma tribe leader with a stupefied expression at him. This surprise was really too heavy and too sudden. Ma Yingjie intentionally looked solemn. You are still not kneeling and thanking me? Ma Hongyuan's mind was in a mess, but his body subconsciously kneeled down on the ground. Thank you, Lord, for promoting me. Yes, work well. Ma Yingjie encouraged with a few sentences. His thoughts, however, were on a different matter. 6-arm heavenly zombie king. This killer move seems to be really powerful. Since it is regarded with such importance by Pan and Chang, and also does not need too much attainment in strength path cultivation, how about I give it a try as well? 88 True Yang Building, Central Control Room. Ink Transformation. Fang Yuan's gaze flashed with a sharp light as he softly shouted and pressed down his hands. Immediately, all kinds of goo worms sprinkled down like rain from air, rapidly mixing with each other as they fell down. When they landed on the sand table, they had already turned into drops of inky liquid. The inky liquid quickly accumulated and covered the surface of the whole sand table once again before soon finding a flaw. The liquid then turned into a whirlpool and converged together. Mo Yao's will in. Fang Yuan's mind satisfiedly commented at this sight. Good. You have now become skilled at the refinement technique I taught you, Shower. With this method, you can quicken goo refinement process by at least 30% and raise the quality by 20%. There is nothing more I can teach you about this method now. You only need to remember the essence of shower lies in speed. But you cannot just go fast. You need to pour all your concentration during the whole process. Thus, this method cannot be used too often. If you use it over the limit, you will feel dazed and dizzy in the minor case, causing the goo refinement to fail. And in the serious case, your soul can be injured, you can suffer memory loss, and you might become demented. Gu refinement had dangers and was not any safer than an intense battle. Fang Yuan already knew this. He listened to Mo Yao's guidance while methodically throwing the owner token into the ink whirlpool. In a flash, the ink liquid was depleted completely, and the owner token slowly flew up before landing on Fang Yuan's palm. Fang Yuan observed the owner token, which now already possessed 5 edges. This meant ink transformation had already been carried out 5 times. Strange, Fang Yuan was scarce on immortal essence stones and should have only been able to use ink transformation once more. How could he use it for 3 extra times beyond that? After Fang Yuan got the 1 edge owner token, his authority was raised, and he could learn the contents of rewards for every round of a single floor of 88 True Yang building through the 1 edge owner token. Fang Yuan did not hesitate and choose 1 floor on the spot. This floor was the 7th floor. 1 edge owner token could allow the Gu Master to control 1 floor of 88 True Yang building. The 7th floor had already been broken through to the 89th round by the collective efforts of Gu Masters. So why did Fang Yuan choose this floor instead of others? It was because the reward for this 89th round was 5 immortal essence stones. Fang Yuan secretly used the owner token to take control of this floor. Chang Biao, Pan Ping, Ma Yingjie, and others passed the round, and Fang Yuan was able to secretly take the 5 immortal essence stones, sending a downgraded version of 6-arm Heavenly Zombie King into everyone's aperture as the reward. The genuine 6-arm Heavenly Zombie King used Borrow Strength Gu as its core, the 6 Great Flying Zombie Gu as the backbone, and many other Gu worms as support. Through modification by Fang Yuan and Mo Yao's will, the downgraded killer move used Overlord Gu as its core, which greatly reduced its strength. Although the other flying zombie Gu were not changed, the old Earth Chief zombie Gu was used instead of Mo Yao's modified Gu. More importantly, the support Gu worms were also modified, and some Gu worms like Intention Gu were added to secretly gather the information on the use of 6-arm Heavenly Zombie King by Chang Biao, Pan Ping, and others. With this, it not only gave others no reason to doubt the reward being tampered with, it also made them test the killer move in place of Fang Yuan to find any insufficient areas. Half a month has gone by since the reward of the killer move was distributed. It is time to catch the fish in a net. What do you think? Fang Yuan used a consulting tone to ask Mo Yao's will. Mo Yao mumbled. It has neither been too long nor too short. We can first take away 2 sets and see the results. Fang Yuan grasped the 5 edges owner token, and with a shift of his mind, he found 2 familiar figures in the 90th round of the 7th floor. They were none other than Chang Biao and Pan Ping. The 2 were currently running quickly. Pan Ping shouted to Chang Biao while running. It has already been 7 days since we came here. Even if the time flow here is faster than Imperial Court Blessed Land, according to our speed, we should have already traveled an immeasurable distance, but we have not been able to see anything other than walls. The running Chang Biao nodded, his clothes fluttering in the wind. In this place, we cannot fly to the sky nor can we escape under the ground. We can only move in these passageways along the walls. The passageways here spread in all directions. We have traveled so long, but haven't encountered a single monster. Clearly, this round tests the Gu Master's scouting and movement ability. This round should be an extremely large maze. The 2 guessed correctly. This 90th round was precisely a maze, and just as Chang Biao guessed, it tested the Gu Master's scouting and movement ability. But Fang Yuan had taken control of this 7th floor now, and after he discovered these 2, everything was going to be different. Chapter 580, Perfecting the Killer Move. Howl. Wolf howls suddenly echoed out. A large group of turtleback wolves appeared ahead. Wolves? How could there be a wolf group here? Pan Ping's movement slowed down, shouting in surprise. Chang Biao's expression sank. Because of the connection with Fang Yuan, the animal he hated the most now was the wolf. But he had never even thought that Fang Yuan would be controlling this round, and said in a gloomy voice, "Our priority this time was to probe. Now that there has been a new change, we should see what happens after killing these wolves." Okay, Pan Ping nodded in agreement. The 2 cooperated and started killing the wolves at first. The 2 were occupying the upper hand even to the extent that it could be called a slaughter. How could ordinary turtleback wolves be their match? But soon, other species of wolf started appearing continuously in front of them. Vermilion wolves, water wolves, wind wolves, and so on. Even mutated wolf groups like frenzy wolves and white eyes wolves started appearing. The two were gradually becoming unable to endure this. How could there be so many wolf groups? Could it be this round also tests the Gu Master's ability to fight? Large numbers of thousand wolf kings entered the battle along with myriad wolf kings. Pan Ping and Chang Biao's expressions gradually turned unsightly. This round is so difficult. Pan Ping sighed woefully. In 88 True Yang Building, the difficulty keeps on increasing as one passes the rounds, with the 90th to 100th rounds being the most difficult. Chang Biao responded. After a while more, the two could not continue fighting much longer. We have already probed the situation. The 90th round not only has a maze, but also wolf groups. Chang Biao summarized in a heavy voice. We have walls on both sides. The terrain is narrow. We already are restricting the large crowds attacking us. What else can we do? Pan Ping frowned. Let's talk after retreating. Chang Biao sighed that he and Pan Ping did not have giant sun bloodline and had used guest tokens to enter 88 True Yang Building. Guest tokens were precious, thus they had to spend a lot of resources every time they entered. All right. Pan Ping already had the thought of retreating. He glanced at the wolf groups with hate. These damned wolf beasts. There will be a day when I will step on your wolf king and humiliate him. Ha ha ha. He cursed and vowed. The wolf king he was speaking of naturally referred to Fang Yuan. The next moment, Pan Ping's laughter suddenly came to a stop, shock and fear replacing it. What's going on? We can't go out. Chang Biao, who was at the side, also discovered this serious problem. The two had used guest tokens to enter the tower and could leave with just a thought. They had already entered and exited many times, and were very familiar with this. But now, this floor was under Fang Yuan's control. The 5-edge owner token was many times more powerful than a guest token. These two were like birds within a cage, trapped in a predicament. Damn it. What should we do? I only have 30% primeval essence remaining. Pan Ping shouted in panic. Chang Biao's expression was grim as he shouted. Calm down. His condition was a little better than Pan Ping, with 50% primeval essence remaining in his aperture. But even if their primeval essence was full, it would be exhausted sooner or later in front of these endless wolf groups. This situation is very rare. How could we not get out of this tower? This round is strange. What it might be testing is the Gu Master's courage. We cannot act cowardly. Chang Biao thought for a while and shouted. Pan Ping heard his words and slightly calmed down his panicked mind. He remembered that there were indeed strange rounds recorded in the past history, testing none other than the Gu Master's mind. Often in these rounds, the more cowardly the Gu Master becomes, the stronger the monster they would have to face. Pan and Chang forcibly calmed down, and then tried to break through the wolf group's encirclement. But Fang Yuan was in control of this round, and was clear of every corner of the maze. He mobilized the wolf groups with extreme smoothness. No matter how Pan and Chang tried to break through, there would always be wolf groups encircling and cutting off their path. No, I cannot die here. Damned wolf beasts, take my killer move. With no alternative, Pan Ping used up almost all his primeval essence to activate the killer move 6-arm Heavenly Zombie King. He turned into an 8-armed zombie. His battle strength rose explosively, creating surging waves wherever he moved. The wolves suffered severe losses with none being able to resist his attacks. Chang Biao took the valuable chance to preserve his primeval essence by following behind Pan Ping, and was able to save quite a bit of strength. The good situation did not last long, and soon, Pan Ping's primeval essence was thoroughly exhausted. Chang Biao quickly moved to save him. In this time of danger, we need to work as one to have the hope of escaping alive. Take a rest, and use primeval stones to recover your primeval essence. I will protect you. Chang Biao also used 6-arm Heavenly Zombie King and firmly protected Pan Ping. With this kind of assistance between the two, they were able to stabilize the situation. 7-8 days went by like this. Chang Biao and Pan Ping's primeval essence were completely exhausted, no longer able to carry on. Am I going to die here? Pan Ping roared at the sky. Damn it, there is definitely a way out, definitely. Chang Biao had lost his earlier demeanor as he started shouting and roaring. Just at this time of despair, the two suddenly saw a large pile of primeval stones in the corner ahead. Primeval stones. Such a mountain of primeval stones. I am not hallucinating, right? Finding a way out of death's door, the two were elated and summoned all their bravery to kill their way through. The situation was stabilized once again as they used the primeval stones to recover their primeval essence. I understand now. This round tests the Gu Master's endurance. Chang Biao shouted with wild joy. So it was like that. Pan Ping also came to a realization. The two were so happy they did not realize the strange changes on their bodies. They started using six-armed heavenly zombie king more often. Their bodies were now growing some irrecoverable zombie speckles. This hill of primeval stones is sufficient to last us 2-3 months. Pan Ping pounced on the primeval stone hill, crying tears of joy. Quickly use this time to recover primeval essence. We can't just keep sitting idly. There should be other primeval stone hills. When thirsty, we can drink wolf blood, and when hungry, we can eat wolf meat. Maybe we can pass this round if we persevere like this. Chang Biao's eyes shone brightly. Brother Chang, you are right. Pan Ping stood up quickly, his face flushed red as he imagined the scene Chang Biao portrayed. This round is so difficult. It is almost an absolute death ground. There should definitely be a great reward for passing it. Chang Biao resisted the wolf group's offense, sighing. I finally know why we can enter, but not exit this round. If we could easily leave, how could this round test the Gu Master? It was truly a pity these two still did not know this primeval stone hill was intentionally arranged here by their great enemy Fang Yuan. His goal was to make them use the killer move more and continue the experiment. The situation was fully within Fang Yuan's control. Even if these two had not been willing to use the killer move and only used their own moves, Fang Yuan would have controlled the wolf groups to continue attacking them, creating a dangerous set of circumstances where these two would have no choice but to use the killer move. Fang Yuan's worry was unnecessary in this aspect. As these two used the killer move, they started gradually becoming dependent on it, using it more and more. And in the following battles, they rarely used their own methods. When their zombie speckles became denser and seriously affected them, they came to their senses, but it was already too late. I don't accept this. Dying right here. Wolf King, I won't let you go even as a ghost. Pan Ping was the first to die. Before he died, he cursed Fang Yuan. Several days later, Chang Biao also died with exhaustion in the battle. He died with grievance, mumbling to himself as he neared death. Exit. Where the hell is the exit? He had a lot of worries. Too many things he could not let go. Wolf-killing alliance was only just being set up. The scheme of forcing Ma Yingjie to join it had only just started, but even more than these, what made him the most unreconciled was his own son, Chang Jiyu. Truthfully speaking, Chang Biao was a pitiful person for his reputation. He dared not admit his own biological son and was only able to hear Chang Jiyu call him Godfather. Even so, he did not feel secure, and to cover it further up, he adopted several orphans as his adopted sons and daughters. Among them was Chang Li. He had made such painstaking efforts, laid low his whole life, planned so much, but now as he faced death, nothing had come to fruition. He was unreconciled, full of regrets and annoyance. But what could he do? I really wanted to hear him call me father. At this moment of death, his intense thoughts burst out as a sorrowful and regretful voice, passing away with the light of his life. The killer move was activated 2,311 times. Although he was exhausted in death, the main reason for fatality is the accumulation of zombie energy in his body. Fang Yuan appeared beside Chang Biao's corpse out of thin air that he slightly smiled. The experiment had attained the expected purpose, but he found a problem. Even if the killer move was used every time, it could not surpass a certain time limit. But instead, the more it was used, the zombie energy in the body would accumulate till it led to the Gu Master's death. Whether it was Pan Ping or Chang Biao, they both died because of this. Fang Yuan took out the Gu worms from the two's corpses and stored them in his storage pouch. This round was under his control, making it impossible for Pan and Chang to detonate their Gu worms even if they wanted to. Chang Biao possessed a set of wind path Gu worms, all of them of excellent quality. Pan Ping's Gu worms were also not ordinary, but with Fang Yuan's current scope and capital, they were only considered better than nothing. Only that Soul Blade Gu had some collection value. making Fang Yuan look at it for a moment. Several days later, in a study, Fang Yuan was thinking with his eyes closed while grasping an east window gu. Hostile intent gu can condense hostile intent. The hostile intent is strong and fiercely encroaching as fire, but it somewhat lacks flexibility and does not have the power to persist for long. Sharp intent gu can condense sharp intent. The sharp intent is very sharp like swords and spears. However, it can be subdued through soft tactics and is very difficult to restore. Reckless intent can condense reckless intent. Nothing is a taboo for the reckless intent, and it can easily spread unchecked, but it is difficult to control and can easily injure the gu master. This east window gu, which Fang Yuan had purchased from Treasure Yellow Heaven, recorded a fairly intact wisdom path inheritance. He paid all his small savings of immortal essence stones for it, but it was worth it. Fang Yuan made some gains after reading it. Fang Yuan pondered. This inheritance records 14 wisdom path gu worms with 6 that touch upon the aspect of intent. Hostile intent gu, sharp intent gu, reckless intent gu, changing intent gu, cold intent gu, and chaotic intent gu. The first 3 are used to condense will, with each having their own pros and cons. Wisdom path was the most mysterious among gu master paths, extremely broad and profound. It originated from star constellation Immortal Venerable and had existed from remote antiquity era. The gu masters who cultivated it were extremely few in numbers, but it still remained and passed down till today, never declining. Then what is Mo Yao's will classified as hostile intent, sharp intent, or reckless intent? Fang Yuan was researching these wills to guard against and deal with the enormous hidden danger in his mind. Hostile intent is fierce like fire, sharp intent is sharp like a spear, reckless intent is flamboyant and difficult to control, but Mo Yao's will is mysterious like the sea, hidden and indistinct. From the confrontations I had with her, it felt like I was not able to display my strength, like punching cotton. Fang Yuan carefully analyzed and perceived Mo Yao's will was not anyone among this list. This inheritance he had gathered was only a corner of wisdom path. There were definitely many other wisdom path gu worms. It seems I still need to continue gathering information on wisdom path, Fang Yuan inwardly sighed. Fang Yuan was not able to easily use his methods against Mo Yao's will because he was not familiar with wisdom path and did not know her trump cards. As the proverb goes, know yourself and know your enemy, and you will go unscathed through 100 battles. I need to bear with this for the moment, make her think continuously and wear herself down, while also using her to help in exploring true yang building. Right as he was thinking, Mo Yao's will appeared with her indistinct figure in Fang Yuan's mind. It is done. The 6-armed heavenly zombie king this time is truly perfected. There are no more unsuitable factors. Mo Yao said with a weak tone and exhausted expression. Looks like she had been worn down a lot from all the thinking over these days. Fang Yuan was inwardly happy, and as he looked at the modified killer move, this hidden happiness gradually turned into exultation.